Hi, I'm putting up another video here to cover some material that will be on exam 2 for CS170. Just to pick up a little bit from the last video where we were talking about functions. I know some people asked about this. I'll just reiterate again. There is this idea of like nesting functions, right? So you have this where I'm calling this fun123 with the output from dummy one multiple times, right? And this dummy one, all it's doing is returning 10 here. But also notice that within fun123, I'm also calling a function, right? Which is alert in this case, but I could have just as easily created another function and call it from within here. So there's a couple ways you can look at nesting of functions. Just like this here, where I'm doing the actual function, I'm taking the output from another function and passing it in as arguments into that. And then as well as within a function, I can also be calling another function. Okay, so all of those are valid when we talk about nesting of functions here. And also remember what we talked about last video where we have the global scoping of variables here and local within the function, right? And those variables that are declared within the function, in this case, it's A and B, right? I'm declaring the variable right here, but I could have done a var and declared the variable there. Those variables only exist for the life of the function. Once you're out of that function, then they don't exist anymore and you revert back to whatever you have out here, okay? So remember that. Now, what I want to cover on this video was a little bit about conditional logic and some common issues that we've seen there. So here you can see that I've declared the variable. Well, I've declared and initialized it, right? So we have X, Y, and Z. In this case, I'm saying it's 2. Take a careful note of this one. I'm saying Y equals to the string 3, not the number 3, okay? And the reason why you can tell that is because I put the quotes around it. And then Z equals to 4, right? I actually don't do anything with Z in this case. So notice what I've done here, right? In this first one, I've used X equals double equals 2, right? And that's the proper way you should be doing a conditional. And, you know, I just put an alert and did a display here just so you can see that I do get in here. And I just say, what is the value? Conditional X equals to what? Now, here, I've done something different. I said if, right? And I said X, but I used 1 equal to 5. And that's a problem, right? Because that's not a comparison, that's an assignment. I've taken X and I've assigned it for 5. So there's 2 implications for that. Number 1, obviously X becomes 5, but number 2, it always evaluates to true, right? So this conditional check will always happen, right? Because anytime you do an assignment, it will evaluate to true. And then just to demonstrate that, you can see conditional X and you'll see that it equals to 5, right? So this is a very dangerous mistake to make, right? Because of it's actually changing the value, not just doing a comparison. Now, the other thing I've done here, just to highlight the difference between a double equal and a triple equal, right? In this case, I'm saying, is this equal to 3, regardless of whether it's a string or a number, right? And because I use a double equal, that's the behavior, and it's going to evaluate to 3, right? To true. Now, when I use a triple equal, you'll see that it doesn't go in here, right? And why is that? Because I'm not checking, is it the value of a string 3? I'm checking, is it the value of a number 3? And again, the reason why I can tell that is because there's no quotes around it. If I had quotes around it, then I would be comparing to the string. So that's the crux of what is a triple equal. A triple equal is not even just comparing the value, but it's also comparing the type, right? Is it a string on both sides, or is it a number on both sides? So let's run this and see what happens. All right, so this is just the remnants over here. And, you know, the values when you come out of the function here. And then here I'm going into the conditional logic. So now I went here, conditional X equals to 2. And look, I have conditional x equals to 5, and that's exactly what we said would happen, right? It became assigned the value of 5, and it also evaluated to true, right? So you have to really be careful. We saw a lot of mistakes with this in the assignments, okay? And then here, I just said conditional with a double equal. That means I got in here, and it said it's 3. But you can see it didn't go into the other one with the triple equals, right? And that's because it's not the same type. Okay. All right. So that's what I want to cover for this. Just make sure you pay attention to things like this. If you feel like you're having problems with like nesting of conditional logic or whatnot, just send me a mail. But I kind of feel like most of you seem to have that in hand. And then the last video I'm going to post up is going to relate it to loops and arrays. And they go hand in hand, like I've said in the past, because loops tend to be used to iterate over like the different elements of the array to process all of the elements of the array. That's kind of almost like by design and whatnot. So I'll do that as my next video. And do feel free to send me emails, and I'll try to record new videos to help you to prepare for exam 2. Okay, thank you.